Well, welcome back. I thought I would do another fishing video. I have been fishing a bit, but I just haven't been making many videos, you know. But I came out here. This isn't actually where I intended to come to, but it's where I ended up because the road appears to be closed or something. I don't know, but I was moseying along and I sat for a few minutes in the queue of traffic and I thought, well, I'll just go somewhere else. Now, this wouldn't be somewhere I fish out of choice. But there are fish in it. As you can see, there's cages in it. Now, I don't think there's anything in the cages. What happened, as I understand it, there were rainbow trout in the cages and they escaped. Now, you can use your own interpretation for the escaped thing, but they escaped and got into the loch. Now, the loch used to have decent brown trout, maybe not easy to catch, but catchable, you know. But then, of course, once the rainbows get into it, there was thousands or hundreds of rainbows in it. So there were millions of people down here all trailing the rainbows out just for their dinner, basically. But I believe that maybe the brown trout are back. Not in huge numbers, but they're back, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way around it a bit, have a wee cast and see how it goes. I don't know, it's a bit bright and stuff today. It's going to be a struggle, but I suppose at least I have a wee breeze. I think most of the rainbows are gone. It's maybe, I don't know, 5 years since they went in. I don't know, but I'm fishing a new Rio line. These Rio lines, I use these Rio Versatip lines because I like to be able to change the tips, but they have a life of about 3 casts. They're hugely expensive. Plus, especially when they wear out, but regardless, they're very, very hard on your fingers when you're stripping them. You see, they wear a hole in your finger. So yesterday I was out and my finger was bleeding all over the place and, you know, the usual thing. So today I put the new line on because it'll not be quite as rough as the old one. But I wish there was a good solution to the problem, because the Rio lines are too expensive for the fact that, I mean, they're probably fine for, I don't know, you know, many anglers just make 3 casts in a day and they're done, you know what I mean? But when you're fishing the loch and it's a lot of casting and stripping, they're pretty much, they have a very short life indeed. So I don't know this loch at all well. I have fished it in the past, but I certainly don't know it well. So I'm going to try and move along a wee bit, just and keep a bit of motion going, because this bit here is a bit near the access, and if there's still rainbows in it to be had, I guess this bit still gets a bit of a hammering, you know. So I imagine as I go further round, there'll maybe be, you know, it'll get less fishing pressure, so there might be a chance of a few fish lying. just I saw these wee skerries out here in this wee bay. So I thought I'll have a wee cast sort of out in their general direction. I have the intermediate tip on, one of John McLean's Connemara Blacks on the top, and one of his kind of black muddlers with a sort of Orkney peach tail on the point. So a sort of a weird combination of flies, I suppose. But I needed to start somewhere. And you know, it's pleasant enough here with the wee wave. It's always good to have a wee wave. A wee bit more cloud would be helpful, but you get what you get. Pick my way around in the rocks. I was doing the same yesterday, picking my way along the rocks. Actually, yesterday I was talking to a couple of blokes in a boat. I was out to get a few fish for my dinner, and they came up to my end of the loch to start their drift, so I was shouting over at them. And they were inquiring if I was having a banana. Now, I don't know why. I mean, bananas aren't exactly native to Lewis, so it's a very strange behaviour, I thought. I think they were from England. They sounded like they were from the north of England or somewhere, you know. So maybe they don't know that bananas aren't native to Lewis, you know. But now that they've put their idea in my head, in a minute I might get a cup of tea going and have a banana. It seems to be like a first class idea. The fishing yesterday wasn't easy, but I was out, I don't know, an hour or two. Got a couple of wee fish for my dinner. 3, I think. So it was successful in that sense, but it has been very warm and very dry. The water even's quite warm. Plus it's daylight all the time at the minute, and I imagine that the fish don't have much encouragement to feed during the day, you know. Oh well, so I climbed up the wee hill here for a look, and you can see the loch's quite convoluted. And I can get onto some of these wee points here. I thought they were islands when I was looking at them from down there, because as you understand, I don't know the loch well. So I think I'm going to go on this wee point for the making of the tea. Well, we'll see. We'll go on to it for the making of the tea, and then we'll contemplate further action after that. That seems to be the plan. There's going to be a few wee hilly bits to climb, I think, just because, well, it looks to fall quite steep into the water in places. So, go over this, down here, and then on to that point, and we'll see if that proves of any better performance. I've got the cup of tea and the banana and a decent breeze, so there's not much more I can ask for, really. I'm just going to sit here, enjoy the pleasant breeze and see what I can see. I haven't seen any fish moving. It's not really a day you're likely to see fish moving. I'm not seeing any insects either. So I guess it's going to be difficult to get a fish, but we'll give it a wee throw. Like I say, this wasn't where I was planning to come to, so I'm kind of in the wrong place anyhow. But have to eat the banana. My banana took a bit of a battering, as it always does in my bag. But as you can see, my tea is perfectly safe. So we'll have a few more casts, see how this goes, and I don't know whether I'll even bother going the whole way around there. It seems a bit hopeless at the minute. But I'll see what time it is, because I think I've got my lunch with me, so I could maybe have lunch and make a wee walk, if nothing else, you know. Because it's good to scout out these lochs. Like I say, it's not a loch I know, so it's always good to have a wee scouting mission. A cup of tea. Tea's good, a banana. Banana's good as well. It's a very sort of banana flavoured banana. Try to... Right, so this is what I've got on the point now. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a sort of orange furry Christmas tree type thing. And I've got a sort of fry pattern on the bob fly position. And I'm going to try these. This has got one of these lead head things, so I think it'll sink quite fast. But I still have the intermediate tip on until I get a feel for this. So we'll see how this goes. But the casting isn't going to be very tidy for a while, because obviously, apart from the quite stiff breeze, I'm also now casting something that sinks like a stone. So that's not comfortable or convenient, you know. But give it a wee bash and see. Just let it sink for a second or two. You can start with, I don't want it fishing too deep. I don't know where the fish are, or even if there are any fish here, you know. It's like, it doesn't seem likely that there's no fish here, so. So I'm standing up here on the wee hill, just because if I go down there I can't, you see, you can't cast because the bank will be rising too fast behind me. So I'll give this a wee, I have like a big dark lead head on and a sort of fry pattern, just to see if anything will move a fish, but I don't see it happening. I'm going to guess that letting it sink for a second or two can't be a bad thing. Oh well, I don't know where that fish came from. I was convinced it was a stone. It's the truth. We'll get down here, see if we can land him. Interesting thing is, I think he's on the fry pattern. Looks like a brown trout as well. And decent enough wee fish. So let's see if I can't get him onto the bank. There we go. So that one's going to go in the bag for dinner. He's quite a long fish, but not very fat, quite skinny, so not in great condition. But he'll do a dinner, you know. So there's a few wee flat stones along here just for a couple of quick casts before I call it done. Just as I'm coming past. Because like I said, I don't know this loch well. So in part it's good to have a wee scout and see which bits fish well and which bits don't, you know. I imagine with this bit being so close to the road that it probably gets fished quite often, especially, you know, because there were so many rainbow trout in this loch. It took quite a hammering over that period, and I imagine in the process some of the browns got caught as well, you know. It used to produce decent brown trout, you know? And I guess most of the rainbows are gone now. I mean, I'm thinking there's nothing in those cages anymore, and the rainbows all escaped out of them, and now basically there's none of that on the loch. I guess the rainbows were in it for providing fish for the supermarket, you know. It kind of goes without saying that it's completely pointless to come to Lewis and fish for rainbow trout, you know. I mean, there's 1,000 brown trout lochs, but I believe that the rainbows are gone, or pretty much gone out of this loch now. So, and that's backed up by the fact that the only one trout I had today was a brown, you know. But that's me done for another day. Another wee cast. Not exactly successful. Tangles all the time. I'm tangling on everything today. One crazy fish for the day. And I didn't even get to the loch I set out to go to, so how very strange. But day out, I suppose. So that's me done.